guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. And we got something that was announced recently that was pretty exciting. And I think there's a really interesting angle that we can take with this, right? The Batman Armory. I don't know that anyone really expected this. I don't know that anyone really expected this Batman Armory to pop up like this. I certainly didn't. I thought maybe we were going to get the one I think they showed at a previous Comic-Con, but that one was a little bit different. And one had Bruce Wayne in a suit. This one has Bruce Wayne with the Dark Knight Rises in statue form, really. And, because I originally, when I posted my preview video, I thought it actually had knee joints, but supposedly those are just knee muscles. They're kneecaps. But Hot Toys kind of sculpted them a little bit weirdly. Anyway, outside of my point, I'm asking the question because I saw a lot of debate about this, actually, not really about the quality of the figure. And I think most people would agree the price is pretty reasonable for what you're getting here, considering you're getting a Bruce Wayne statue, you're getting the updated Batman suit, you're getting this whole armory with LED light-up functions, all for $565. I think that's pretty reasonable. But there's a lot of people who own the DX19, right? And what do those people do? I think that's the question. Because I saw a lot of back and forth on this, a lot of debate with people saying, oh, well, DX19 is not going to go down in value because you're going to have the best Batman for the next 2 years until this other one releases. And then other people were saying, oh, but this one's great, so I'm just waiting for the DX19 to get discounted and go on bargain bin and whatever. So I want to ask you, Kiko, as someone, I'm pretty sure you own the DX19. As someone who owns the DX19, do you think this Armory is worth the upgrade? And what do you think 1/6 collectors who own the DX19 or were considering getting it even now should do? Because this suit does look a little bit better. What do you think?
So to me, this is like the biggest meltdown I've seen of Batman fans in quite a while. I was driving back, and I think it was a week ago. I don't know, it was a week ago Sunday. I was driving back because this is when this dropped, was on Sunday night. And Riley actually went on, and he's like, we got to talk about this, in the middle of the night. And I was driving back from Arkansas, and I was like, hey, I'm up. I'll sit here and watch this for some reason. But I've never seen so many people melt down over this. They're like, I can't believe it. Damn, I just got the DX19. I thought that was the Batman. Why are you doing this to me? I see this as a win-win, honestly. There's no way you come out upset about it, because here's what it comes down with. Say you get this figure or whatever. It's like, say, oh, fuck the 19 or whatever. I want this one. Okay, well, if you go with that Batman, essentially, you're going to have an empty Armory, because then you're like missing out on, because you're going to take the suit out, essentially. I don't see the point of having the Armory without the suit. So I have the original Armory, the one from the Dark Knight, the kind of the metal grade one, which I prefer. I like that metal aesthetic, underground. I thought that was a cool aesthetic. So with me, I actually put my DX12 suit inside the Armory and took the Armory suit out and put it, that's the Batman that I actually used. For this, that's what I'm going to do with my DX19. The DX19 is now going to go into the Armory. I'm going to take that suit out, and that's going to be my Batman. That way you'll have a Bruce Wayne. You'll have a Batman like posed up. That way you can say this is the definitive Batman. And then you'll have the one in the suit. I don't see how that's a loss, because here's the thing. You either have the DX19 now, which is cool. And like I said, who knows when this actually comes out? If you end up getting this, it's the best of both worlds. You get your Bruce Wayne, you get your updated suit, and you can keep all of that stuff, and you can plan for the next 2.5 years. Say, oh, I know $560, that's kind of expensive. I agree. But now I am planning over the next 2 years to replace this suit right here with my DX19. You come out on top, and you end up with 3 figures, essentially. That sounds awesome to me. So what is the part that is a problem? I love that this is USB powered. That's one thing that the other Armory is not. It's AAA batteries. And the biggest point of contention is just the Power Pose Wayne. That's it. So if you're afraid that you're about to miss out because you got the DX19 and you're just upset, you got 2 years to figure this out. I'm telling you right now, if you want this thing and you want the definitive Batman, then go ahead, pre-order it, get on into it, and figure it out how you're going to obtain this in the next 2 years. And you're coming out with 3 figures. I don't see it. I don't see how you take a loss or how you're upset about it, honestly.
Yeah, and I totally understand that, Kiko. One of the things, what do you think about the idea of them potentially releasing this Batman figure as just a Batman without all the 2-pack stuff? Do you think that would piss off people more or make people happier? Because to get this updated suit, you got to buy the whole package, right? So, but if you release the Batman separate, then all the DX19 buyers are going to be like, well, fuck my life, so you can't really win.
Yeah,
right?
And Drago agrees, as you can hear.
Drago.
The thing I think that bothers people is that they don't want to have an option out there for them that is going to make them say, oh, I just wasted money. This current offering does not waste your money. you're getting an improvement, and you're essentially getting three figures because they're different things. You cannot look at it and say, well, my Batman's not good anymore, because you can put the 19 in this and you're going to come out on top. I just, maybe I'm just sitting there talking to myself in circles, but I see it as a win. You're going to get a lot of really cool stuff, and it's fine. Just plan on having them both. And if it's a space issue, then once this comes in, then sell the DX19 if you're really a part of that, because I have a hard time thinking that you cannot, over the next 2 years, figure out a way to put this into your collection, sell a little bit of money, stash away a little bit of money. There, if you can't figure that out in 2 years, this probably isn't the hobby for you, honestly.
Well, Marco, what do you think about this? What do you think about this updated Batman with the statue? And is it worth the $560? And as someone, I believe you have the DX19. If so, what do you think collectors should do?
So I do have the DX19, and I will say I'm very biased because The Dark Knight is one of my favorite films of all time. The trilogy, I love as well. And so I think the DX19, beautiful figure, by the way, incredible figure, one of the favorite ones that I've unboxed recently. Just such a fun moment. Um, it was always going to be outdated, though, right? We have a bunch of new companies coming into the market. I think a few folks have said in art. We know J&D, has done statues of this Batman. So who knows if they make a 1/6 offering. So DX19 was always going to be outdated. Everyone was going to have to just deal with that fact. Either you're going to really enjoy what you had in hand, or you're going to have to upgrade at a certain point. So this meltdown was going to happen eventually. I'm really glad that they're giving us Dark Knight or Dark Knight trilogy options. I'm so glad that Hot Toys went back into that well, so I don't have to go chase, older figures. So I really appreciate them for doing this, for giving us an armory. I really liked the version with the suit, but this is like such a cool offering, honestly, for 560. I think it's like pretty decently priced. You get a statue, you get a full-on figure and a suit, and the armory display and all these gadgets. I feel like it's reasonably priced, honestly. So yeah, I'm a big fan of them doing this. I'm similar to Kiko, where I think I'll put the DX19 in the armory. I'll take the suit out. It gives you just a lot of display options. Um, and then, whenever those other companies eventually do their own, in art does the Batman, or if J&D comes, then I'll have to determine whether I want to upgrade or if I'm happy with what it is. But Hot Toys now kind of has a premium offering at the table to kind of compete with those companies. And I bet you if InArt comes out with a $1,200 2 pack, this is going to look pretty affordable. Like, oh wow, actually I get the suit at a pretty reasonable price. I'm glad that they're not releasing the suit standalone. I feel like that would maybe be a slap in the face, where I just got the DX19. Now here's the upgraded version, like the Beskar Mando. So it would be a bit more analogous to that. But as it is, I think this situation is perfectly fine. Like Kiko said, you're going to have a few years to figure it out. It's like it's coming right off of the back of the DX19 being in stock. I think DX19 will be gone well in advance of this, finally coming out. So I just
Right.
appreciate Hot Toys for doing this. Go ahead, Will. Do you have a follow up
Well,
question?
I was going to say, Marco, because here's the question, because I know this kind of relates to the Chrome Mando thing, right? But the
Yeah.
Chrome Mando thing, I think, was a little bit different of a context in different circumstances. And I'll explain why. Because the Chrome Mando, to me, the Chrome Mando came out right as the previous Mando was getting released in the United States, right? I was looking up when the DX19 released. I found Justin's review from April 14th of 2022, right? So this figure's been out a whole year plus, basically. And then they announced this one. So to me, I don't know. To me, that's not the end of the world. I understand why some DX19 owners might be a little upset, but at the end of the day, Hot Toys wants to milk the Dark Knight line because they know it sells. All the statue companies make
Popular, yeah.
Dark Knight. Hot Toys makes Dark Knight. These companies are going to keep this line rolling as old as it is because it's basically timeless. People will always buy Dark Knight shit. And I think, to me, I don't think we should be upset at progressing and innovating, right? Even if it's not like a brand new material or whatever, they're bettering the suit and producing a better offering for people. And I think that's something that should always be explored, no matter what figure you bought or so forth. I think that's something that you don't want to not do because you're like, well, what about the DX19 owners? Like, if you can make something better and Hot Toys can make money out of it and keep going and keep the lights on, I don't see the problem personally. But, I had the DX19. I don't have it anymore. I sold it because I was waiting for InArt, right? And with InArt, who knows when that's going to come? That's going to be a really long time, probably. So if you're waiting for that one, you're going to be waiting a while. It's okay to be patient. But the one problem I have with this one, Marco, is that I really, really, really want this suit, right? But I don't really want to get the full armory and the Christian Bale because
Oh, I
if I
see.
have,
Okay.
Yeah, because if I have 4 module cases, Marco, to put figures in, right? I can have about 65 figures. If I get the Armory and the Christian Bale and the Batman, I'm probably taking up room of 5 to 6 figures, right? So I have to decide at that point, and the collectors are going to have to make these type of decisions. Like, do I want Christian Bale and the Armory and everyone like that, and to give up 4 other figures in the process, right? And that, I don't think I'm willing to do that. I want the Batman. I want this Batman suit. That's why I almost wish they gave us a Batman suit like this. Maybe they will at some point, but I guess they were trying to be fair, like give the DX19 owners like, okay, well, like we're not, the people got to buy the Armory too to get this, so maybe that's kind of their out. But
Yeah,
to me, I would have
that's
preferred
the most equitable way to do it.
the
honestly.
equitable way, but I would have preferred maybe they gave like a collector's edition or something that didn't have the Armory, and maybe you have the Bruce Wayne head sculpt and it's just a better DX19. And I get that sucks for the DX19 collectors, but this kind of stuff happens a lot. I mean,
here's
this
my thing that I don't quite understand. Someone in the comments mentioned they're like, yeah, the timing sucks. I went and looked up when the DX19 was released. Announced December 9th of 2020.
right.
We are almost 3 years removed from that. If you don't have the DX19 at this point right now, you probably didn't want it in the first place. And at this point, you're like, well, that just sucks. Most likely, if you're getting the DX19 now, you're getting it at a discount. Talking about your bargain bin shopping and things like that, because it has been steadily going down. Like, I don't think most people have paid retail. I certainly never paid retail for the actual DX19. So I don't see the people that are so upset about the timing, the pricing, and not to mention, in just a couple years, you can have to worry about this. This is not coming tomorrow. It's not like you can just go to Toys R Us and, wait in line and go pick it up. You got time to decide. And there's going to be more offerings, as you had said. I think everyone hits it on the head. So.
Yeah. What do you think, Marco? Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I will just say, like, you want the standalone suit. I'm sure there are going to be plenty of people that are parting out the suit, and just keeping their DX19 and selling this suit. So I think you'll have your opportunity to pick it up on the aftermarket if that's really the only piece you're after. But I'm really a fan of them doing it in this way. I think it's an affordable overall package. It makes me chuckle every time I say affordable and Hot Toys, because
I
obviously
know,
they're
right?
ridiculously priced. But in this concept, or comparatively, it's an affordable package, and I'm appreciative again that they're doing it.
Right. And I understand. Yeah. And, we had a good comment from Ben. He said we've had it in hand only a year. But yeah, but a year is a pretty long time. To have something in hand for a year and expect Hot Toys not to make anything new or better, I don't know. I mean, because they do that with Iron Man figures all the time. I mean, the Mark III, I guess, originally came out before the new Mark III, right? But still, this
So
is an
you've had it
Armory.
in hand for a year. You're not going to have this in hand for another 2. So it'll be 3 years past by the
Right.
time you get this in hand. So
Right.
that's a long time, people. A long time.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, look, if I, like you said, Marco, if I can't find someone willing to part this one out, I'll wait and get the InArt one. I know that one's going to be a while down the line, but I like the DX19. Unless someone's going to sell me the DX19 for like dirt cheap, then I'll just buy that one. But and call it a day. But short of that, to me, DX19 collectors, I don't know. To me, DX19 collector, if you have the DX19, I would say if you want the Armory, I would sell the DX19 personally as quickly as you can, because the longer you wait, the less valuable it's going to become. That's just how it's going to go. Because as far as closer this one gets to release, the DX19 becomes less and less and less valuable. So that's my opinion. You're going to take a loss now, probably either way. That was going to happen before this one was even announced. Yeah. But if you don't want the Armory, then just stick with the DX19. Or just sell it and wait for InArt, I guess. But that's going to be a while. But if you do,
not to mention, I'm going to have this probably 2 years before my Joker even ships. So that's
probably
to think about.
Probably.
Same.